Okay, I wanted to discuss something I hear every once in a while, and it's like one of those undying piles of BS that just won't die. It's one of those things that should die, it must die, it has to die, but it still isn't dead yet. It's one of those undead zombies that keeps coming back. This really tosses some sandpaper in my underwear. This is, I would, rather sandpaper my crotch than hear someone say this again, and I hear it all the time. And I know you've heard it before. They'll talk about like an advanced DSLR camera, FX or DX, doesn't matter a damn bit which. And they'll talk about one of these old lenses. Well, yeah, baby, I got a lot of old lenses. And someone will say this, or something almost exactly like this. They'll say, well, that camera will out-resolve that lens. Whatever is around it, it is always the words out-resolve. And man, there is not a bigger pile of stinking, rancid, fly buzzing poo than that nonsense. I mean, if it's been made, and this is a generalization, if it's been made after the 1950s, it will still out-resolve, this, like this old AIS 50mm pancake lens. I mean, I use that on a 36 megapixel Nikon D810 just perfectly. Works perfectly. You can throw this on the 51 megapixel with an adapter, of course. Canon 5D. This nonsense, older lenses than that, if they're really good Leica and Zeiss lenses, I think it could be some really old lenses. Some of the best lenses, images people have ever seen, they're like, my God, what lens took that lens, and what lens took that picture? And the photographer will go, oh, that's that's a Leica lens from the 1940s, and you're like, and you put it on what are you kidding me? This whole everybody's heard this stuff on some photography website. They'll say, that camera will out-resolve that lens. And just, even if it's a piece of crap lens, the nature of light and the nature of optics, unless it has actually been incorrectly assembled, this is just a pile of BS. Anybody that says those words, you just need to find, I don't know, a wet mackerel or, a poopy diaper and just slap them upside the face with it. Because that's exactly what they deserve. They're just talking out of their, but they're just, they're trying to communicate with the other side, the other sphincter. That's the opposite end of where their mouth is. And they're also using a brain from that same location too, because it's just nonsense. I just don't ever want to hear someone talk about a camera out-resolving a lens. It's just ridiculousness. And a lot of these lenses that I've been talking about, and that have a happiness rate, people that buy the lenses, some of these old awesome lenses that I recommend, the percentage of people that are happy, or just even beyond happy, is right at 100%. Like 135mm f3.5, 135mm f2.8, 50mm pancake lens, old 200mm f4. I mean, people are using these on Nikon D810s, D700s, D71. I mean, this is crap. Some of these older lenses do have significant chromatic aberration, not all of them, but that's actual depth. While chromatic, I mean, I mentioned this in several other videos in the past. While human beings do not like seeing chromatic aberration, the finest Zeiss lenses, and I've got some of them, the finest Zeiss lenses that money can buy, in high contrast scenes, they got significant chromatic aberration. Like purple and green fringing. That is actual depth. It's just that the human brain and our eyeballs are not accustomed to seeing that. I mean, we don't see that way. We don't want to see fringing. But if we had on like purple and green glasses, like movie glasses, or red and green, if we had on purple and green or red and green, whatever the chromatic aberration fringing is, we would see true holographic depth in that two-dimensional print. That means that the lens is performing exactly. Now, these lens designers, they actually design these lenses now to have as little chromatic aberration as possible. And of course, you can remove chromatic aberration in Lightroom easy enough, or Photoshop, or Capture One, or whatever the hell it is you use. But that is actual. The lens is actually telling you, communicating depth to the image sensor that is actually rendered on the SD card or the compact flash card. We don't like to see it, but that's actual true depth. So, the whole premise of this video, though, is, this out-resolve stuff. I heard it just like yesterday, and I heard it like 2 weeks ago, and that crap has to die, because that is it's just a pile of poo. It's as big a pile of poo as the whole bigger sensors gather more intense light or gather more light. No, they gather a wider field of view. They don't gather better light. They don't gather in more intense light. And I've made many, many videos about that. So that's it. That's like myth number 500 in the photography realm of BS, twaddle, and nonsense. Unicorns and leprechauns, other nonsense people talk about that has no basis in reality. Okay? Thanks. Sorry, but I am exhausted from my vacation. I'm a little tired, but